Justice Watchers, before we begin, I want to make this absolutely clear. The following broadcast contains public domain courtroom footage, commentary, and legal analysis. This content is presented under the Fair Use Doctrine as defined by 17 U.S.C. 107 and is protected by multiple Supreme Court rulings, which you see below. This stream is transformative, educational, and journalistic in nature. It includes original commentary, trial breakdowns, legal interpretation, and critical analysis, not raw redistribution. We do not claim ownership over any public domain footage, and all use is strictly within legal bounds. If you're watching this content, you're engaging in a protected, transformative experience, grounded in law, never in speculation. And if anyone has a problem with that, take it up with Campbell, Brady, Miranda, and Irvin. Remember, guys, justice always works better when we watch. So keep watching. See you in the courtroom.
Mid-afternoon break. We have our jurors and counsel and parties present. We have Mr. Aaron Cooper on the stand. Mr. Cooper, even though we took a break, I just remind you, sir, that you were still under oath. And I guess before we resume with direct examination, right before we recessed, there was an objection by Ms. Watt. I think the parties discussed it, and the state essentially concurs with the objection, so I'm sustaining the objection. And Mr. Ringel, you may move on to your next question.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cooper, do you see Karina Cooper here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point her out and describe the item of clothing that she's wearing?
And she's over here in a black and gray sweater.
Judge, the state would request that the record reflect identification.
The record so reflects.
No further questions.
Ms. Watt, cross-examination.
Thank you. Mr. Cooper, are you aware of whether or not Karina and Ryan, if they regularly lock their doors at night?
I'm not.
Were you aware of any marital problems between the two before this night?
I was not.
Had you ever heard Karina make any remarks to Ryan like that she would shoot him?
No.
This phone call about a shell casing, had you previously told police about that phone call?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. I guess the state seemed to know of it. When did you first tell the state about that phone call?
Judge, I'm going to object. May we approach?
You may. Mr. Cooper, do you recall the question?
Could you repeat it?
Yes. When did you first tell the state about this phone call?
Within the last few weeks.
Okay. And I understand that oftentimes you might meet with the prosecution in order to just get ready for trial.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And so that's when you provided the information about the phone call.
Yes.
How many times had you previously talked to the police about this case? Or the state, I guess.
I guess I don't have a number.
Okay. Well, more than two?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless, when the phone call was made, I'm assuming you didn't give it much passing thought if you didn't mention it for several years.
No.
Okay.
All right, anybody who's got a phone on in the gallery, just make sure it's off on silent, all right? Thank you. I guess anybody who's got a phone on up here too, make sure it's silent, but I haven't heard that yet.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Just briefly, defense asked you if you were aware of any marital problems between Ryan and Karina. Based on your relationship with both Ryan and Karina, is that something you feel like you would be aware of?
No.
Why do you say that?
Don't really talk about our problems too often to each other.
Is that consistent with your personality?
Yes.
Would that be consistent with Ryan's personality as well?
Yes.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Any recross?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cooper. You may step down. All right, is the state prepared to call its next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Kate Cooper.
All right, before you bring Mr. Cooper in, I'm just gonna, any expanded media coverage had been authorized except for this witness, so that means any live streaming, any pictures, any audio recordings is off limits. I get a thumbs up from the back. We're going to start that witness first thing tomorrow morning. We're going to continue to do a couple things. But what that means for you is that you're free to go today, to go a little bit early, and we'll ask that you be back here ready to go by 9 o'clock tomorrow. Again, I'm going to remind you of that admonition. You've had 1 day of evidence now at this point, but still keep an open mind. There's a lot of evidence to yet receive. So keep an open mind. Don't form any opinions. Don't talk to anybody about this case. Don't do any type of research on your own. And again, avoid any and all media reports of this case, including anything on social media and traditional media. So with that, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, counsel, go ahead and have a seat. You can stand if you'd like. Yeah, you don't have to sit down. So you folks are free to go or stay. It's up to you. We're just going to be discussing a couple things. If you're interested, you're free to stay. If you're not, you're free to leave. So I wanted to put one thing on the record. I talked to a couple counsel about this off the record. So yesterday during jury selection, I think once Ms. Watt started, at one point we had we replaced several jurors right after you got started, and for whatever reason, I wasn't wearing my glasses. I was rushed. I accidentally skipped over one juror. So instead of going to juror 45, we had skipped number 46, and I had struck them out, so I think maybe my eye was drawn to 47, but skipped over 45, and we went to 47, and then 48. 48 actually got seated, but anyway, there's no indication on my juror list or in the record. I had Colleen check about what happened with juror 45, so I think that's the only explanation, is that I just skipped over them. So I shared that with counsel. My understanding is that nobody, I guess, has or is making an issue of it and is fine with the jury that's seated, but I want to confirm that. So Mr. Ringel, is that correct from the state's end?
It is.
And Ms. Watt, is that correct from the defendant's end?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what I'm going to do simply on the judge's list, so it's clear for the record, is just note that skipped over by accident and addressed on the record. So, all right. I think we had one sidebar. And anyway, Mr. Ringel, you asked to approach when Ms. Watt was questioning Mr. Cooper, I believe, about when he informed the state about the statements concerning the conversation he says he had with Ms. Cooper about the shell casing. And I think you were concerned that Ms. Watt was going to imply that that was somehow improper. And Ms. Watt said she wasn't going to do that, and that's kind of how it resolved itself. So, and I guess anybody wish to supplement that?
No, I think that's accurate.
Ms. Watt? All right. So I guess with that, anything further that we need to address on the record?
Not for the state.
All right. Then we can go off the record. Just how many people are you expecting tomorrow? Ideally? A lot? Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. We expect judge, we expect judge Felton.
Okay. All right. You guys can let Ms. Watt and Mr. Hawbaker know kind of how that's going to go, so we can have a more efficient trial. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to step out unless you guys need anything. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.